as you saw, we got a ton of work done on the vert. You know, now it's sitting, waiting for me to do some more work, which will be coming very soon because I just got, ooh, kicked it. I just picked up the, where is it? The offset bushings needed for the calipers, so we can get those mounted. Comes with the hardware, comes with the brake rotor spacers, so these actually go behind the rotor. Remember, I don't know if I put it in the video, but I was questioning the rotor sitting in the middle of the caliper. So it comes with spacers, comes with bolts, comes with bushings. We have to press those into the calipers and mount those. Hopefully they all fit. So we got to do that. We got to hook up the steering in this. I have a set of sway bar links. They're somewhere in the pile of parts on that other side. But I'm really digging how the car looks. I think I'm going to refinish these wheels. I'm not at all mad at them. The more they're on the car, the more I like them. So it's 265 40s in the front. It's got 275 Drager radials in the back. What I'll probably do is get a set of 255 40s for the front, put these 265s in the back, because those don't look bad. And that's the wheel will rock for a little while. I need to get this GT panel, valance, if anybody's got a set, you know, both sides, I need them. I don't have those apparently. But we're going to start doing more work to that. But right now, we're going to take the bumper back off this. I have to shorten the one water hose into the heat exchanger, but I'm also going to try something out. So this right here is a filter that goes into an AN fitting. This came from Racetronics. What I'm going to do is, when I built the water tank, I never put a screen in there to stop ice from getting in the pump. I really don't need ice. This system does a great job at keeping a lot of temps cool, but when we're out testing, the temps get hot, and there's nothing I can do except cycle water through and put a fan on it. It'd be nice if if we make 5 passes in 3 hours, if I can stick ice in there. So I found this at Racetronics. Someone sent it to me, and what I did was I burned a couple holes in it just to help flow. Because I did measure water flow without this versus this. You know, I felt like a 1 liter cup, and it definitely slowed it down. So I just kept cutting holes in it until it was, I mean, I'm using a stopwatch, you know, within milliseconds of the same amount of flow. So that works. So how this works is I'm going to have a dash 16 fitting. It goes in just like that, and it seals up against it. And then you put your fitting on over it. So that's going to go between the tank and the water pump. We also have to take the tank off and add a drain. I don't put a drain in it. I don't know why. Probably because I was on the thought of, this is a sealed system. Sealed. I'm not going to be draining water out of it at the track because I'm not adding ice. Well, now we're going to try that. But like I said, this system's coming off the car sooner than later, so I'm not trying to spend a ton of time and money on it. I gotta see if I have a drain. I have a feeling I left my last drain in the tank that I sold to Steve. Damn you, Steve. So I have to start digging through. I mean, it doesn't even need to be anything fancy. You know, if I have a dash 6 fitting in here with a cap, I can just do that. Dash 10, whatever. Doesn't need to be anything fancy. Dude, this is what I've come up with. I actually had dash 10 and dash 6 caps, which I was like, oh, let me just put the dash 6 bung into that, a well fitting, and then I just have one less fitting, but I only had steel dash 6s. So what I'm thinking about doing is I have a 3/8 MPT bung here, which I can weld in to the bottom of the tank, right? What I'm thinking about doing to eliminate fittings is hacking this off, cleaning this all up, and then just welding this. Essentially what I did here. We won't look at the welding. It's terrible. And then welding that, and then I'll just have a dash 10 cap on that. Instead of using a bung, a fitting, and a cap. That's more work? Does it need to be done? I don't know. I might, you know what? I'm just gonna weld the bung in. We'll just do that. It'll make life easier. Blow it out after. Lifesaver. Husky, Milwaukee, just go to Home Depot and grab one. And it helps you deburr everything. Well, it's not perfect, but for not touching the TIG in probably 7-8 months on aluminum, maybe not that long. I feel like I just welded aluminum. Oh, the valve covers. Those turned out like crap though. I'll take that. This is why I'm a huge advocate for buying your own TIG welder. There are so many people who want to do this on a Saturday that couldn't because they have no idea how to do it. They don't have the equipment, and a lot of people aren't willing to learn. Is it perfect? No. The welds are inconsistent. I mean, we won't even talk about these welds, but they're inconsistent. But you know what? This thing has never leaked a single drop. Is it perfect? No. But I just did that for, well, what's a weld bung cost? $3? Instead of you bringing it to someone for X amount of dollars, like you'll spend $1,000 on a POS VS Turbo, but you won't spend $1,000 on a China TIG welder. AHP Alpha TIG. I think they're like $700 now somewhere. But it comes with a good foot pedal now. Get yourself a helmet. Get yourself a TIG argon bottle like this size. I now rent this one because they don't sell these anymore. So that's rented. Argon. And that's for my MIG that's not here right now. But you can get into a TIG $1,000, somewhere in that range. And you can literally just sit on YouTube and learn how to TIG weld. That's how I did it. I've built all my turbo kits. I've built everything since I got a TIG welder. Why, for a homegrown guy, why worry about taking this to a shop on Monday, praying he gets it done that week so you can work on it the following weekend? You need it? You fire up the welder, you weld it in, you're done. Job done. Less than an hour. Put some water in here. Make sure my weld doesn't leak. I don't think it will. I could usually tell when it's going to leak. I'll leave like a pinhole in it, something of that nature, and it'll leak. I don't think it's going to leak. So I'm going to fill it up with a little bit of water. Make sure it don't leak. And then we're going to get it back on the car and fix the one hose. And our intercooler system is done. Our coolant system for the engine is done. It's full of water. I bled the pump out the other day. Upside to have an electric pump. Just turn the pump on. I got no thermostat in it. It's gonna fill everything with water. We got some more wiring to do, but we're getting the PDM. I'm gonna show you a sweet switch panel setup that I installed in the car. If you're friends with me on Facebook, or you're friends with Corey over at Car Chains 3D, you already saw it. But I'll show you how my CAN keypad is all mounted up now. All right, I put the bumper back on before I took any video, but that hose is in there. Much better. I had to replace the whole hose because it kinked. This is all done and mounted. Drains in it. Boost controller's hooked back up. I filled it with water. Nastiness. Turn the pump on. Everything seems to be happy. Unless the, cylinders are full of water. Then that would be problematic. But, no, that's all done. Intercooler system done. Everything under here is essentially done, I think. I don't think we have anything to do under the hood anymore. Everything's tight. Everything's full of fluids. I tightened up the wastegates that I had to do. So now it's just going to come down to finishing all this wiring, I think. I got to bleed the brakes, wire the blinkers. I just have to run the power to the PDM and mount that. Brake lights. I don't know if I finished that. See, install dash, cluster seat, blah, blah, blah. Fill coolant is done. Tighten wastegates is done. was supposed to get done today, bleeding the brakes, but adjust fenders and downpipes, but that's literally the last thing on the list because I has to get done with the hood. But, oh, you missed Steve. Steve's here. He's doing a wonderful job. Let's see if we can find him. Oh, there he is. Hey, Steve. Stuck in a corner. Can't find your way out. Surprise. Oh, you got it. Oh, I'm gonna do some more wiring on that. I'm not gonna film that because that's boring. Nobody wants to see wiring. But my driveway got done. How nice does that look, huh? Now I gotta do some landscaping work all the way around. Nice spot for the truck and trailer. I gotta do some backfilling in here too. It left me a hell of a lip, but I asked for this. So I'm pretty stoked about that. We can drive on that in 2 more days. That was, they did that Wednesday, it's Saturday, so Monday. I don't want to drive on it, I just want to leave it and look at it. Boy, I thought I was fairly smart until I started having to program a CAN keypad. No, we got starter working, running lights, headlights, all on the same button. Nothing else. For whatever reason, this one changes my starter button. This is supposed to be my intercooler pump, but this is somehow instead. And this one just doesn't work at all, even though I know it's on. Okay, well, I think the day has come to pull this thing outside. I got brakes, it runs, we're gonna see if it moves. We've done a ton of work to it off camera, and honestly it's mostly boring stuff that nobody wants to see because I don't even want to do it. But I've been playing with the CAN bus keypad. I've got a couple of the buttons done right, mostly figured out. There's still a whole lot. I think I'm off on some sort of the CAN bus part. I'm not a computer programming guy, and that's exactly what that needs, and I am dumb, apparently, when it comes to that. But I got the starter to work, I got the lights to work. Blinkers still all work? Yeah. Blinkers work, headlights work, intercooler pump works. Intercooler pump's on the wrong button. That's about as far as I've gotten with it. But right now, we're gonna pull it outside. I haven't been able to let this thing warm up yet. I still think I need to do a leak down test because it's still got a kind of an uneven start. And I'm wondering if I missed the measurement on a push rod. So we're just gonna let this thing warm up, let it run for 20-30 minutes, and then we'll drain the oil on it, put good oil, good filter in it, and see what it does. So let's actually see if this thing can move outside. My dash drill. All right, got it back inside, up on stands. Changed the oil, new filter, cleaned out the clear view. Really wasn't much in there. A little bit, a couple aluminum flakes, bunch of ARP lube, you know, stuff like that. Don't mind me getting over that eye infection like I told you about. I'm back on the GoPro because I got one of these, I don't know what the hell it was called, Voltar. I don't know, it's a battery tripod thing from GoPro. We'll see how that works. I have my Max Lens mod, my media case mod, and I have a flashlight on it. So, like I said, drain the oil, change the filter. Now we're gonna put in the finest oil there is in my eyes, Schaefer's Micron Moly 2050, and 9 quarts of that stuff. New filter. I ran the alternator wire. I found the oil leak. Whoops. My oil pan bolts were too long on that passenger bank. Completely forgot that a steel pan takes shorter bolts. And when I pulled the pan off the old motor, 5 or 6 of them broke. So when I was putting it together, I jumped into the pile of bolts. I'm like, oh, boom, there's oil pan bolts. Yeah, there's oil pan bolts for an aluminum pan. So that should be all taken care of now. We're gonna put 9 quarts in it. I ran my alternator feed wire. I got that all buttoned up. I got this side, the driver's side oil feed, oil drain buttoned up. I just gotta go into there, cut a couple zip ties, and then we can put it back on the ground. The only thing I want to do is, remember that little filter I showed you for the water pump? I want to make sure that that thing can't get dislodged and pushed into the pump. So we got to drain this and pull this back apart and just make sure that that can't come off into the pump before I actually run this thing. If I do, I'll just little bit of JB weld on it and it'll be all set. But I'm learning this tripod. Sorry about the fan in the background. It's humid. For some weird reason, my GoPro, when hooked to a charger, is why I never charge the GoPro with batteries in it, turns on. You hook the charger to it, oh, look at the color of that, huh? That's yummy. The actual GoPro will power on, and I'm like, well, that's kind of worthless. You're gonna charge the battery with the thing on. Well, that 2050 stuff is thick. I probably won't change the oil again in it this year unless I have an issue. You know, this stuff lasts. I usually like to change it out once before I go on a race week, but there might be only one testing prior to street and heat. You know, I'm not racing in July. It is so goddamn hot out there. I have zero urge to get into a 20A suit. I literally contemplated putting this thing on gasoline so I could wear a 5A suit instead of a 20A. Or 15, you know, 15 is a minimum. Obviously, you don't have to follow the rules, but I think we've talked about fire safety here before. And considering I saw a fireball in my eyes the last time racing this car, I'm a little hesitant to downgrade my safety gear a little bit. Wicked fireballs. Alright, I'll finish all this, getting this oil in here. Like I said, I gotta button up that wiring under there, and then I don't know, we'll see how we're gonna round this video out. Who knows, maybe it's for a drive around the block, I don't know. I gotta wash it. I don't even think I could really see through the windshield. I got 5 things: install dash, install passenger seat, wire alternator, which is almost done, fix oil leak, which I'm pretty sure is set, and finish programming the keypad, which, shoo, dumb as a rock when it comes to can stuff. So I got, like I said, I got some of it working, but I have a feeling I'm off. But none of that needs to happen with this car in the air. Technically, I don't even need the seat or dash, but my gauge cluster just fumbles about because there's no mount for it, because my mount is the dash. I really contemplated getting one of the steering column mounts for it. Then my dash literally have just, you know, a couple bolts in and out. There's nothing hooked to it. I still might. I don't know. I have this apart because, like I was telling you, I was kind of scared of the fitting, which I was right. So I JB welded it on. It's drying right now. I just have it sitting in the vise just to hold it. Once that's dry, I'm gonna stick it in the tank side so nothing can, you know, can't fall out into my new pump sitting there. So we're waiting on that. Once that's done, I can put the bumper back together. I just finished wiring the alternator, getting that wiring all set. I think we should fire it and make sure the alternator's charging. Let me use my, well, it works pretty well. Keypad. All right, let's fire this bad Larry up and see what our oil pressure is. So we got 70 plus pounds of oil pressure on a cold start, 14.4, 14.5 on the alternator, perfect. Dies with the kill switch. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. Now let's get the front end together. I don't think I'm gonna put the dashboard in just yet. I think I'm gonna drive without a dash, so I gotta zip tie up my my cluster there so it doesn't fall off every chance it gets. And like I said, the keypad's still not right, but the starter works, the lights work. I hope the brake lights work. I didn't check that far. I still have to wire my line lock in. I still have to wire the parachute. I have my parachute solenoid powered on by a button so I don't accidentally hit the button on my steering wheel. Gotta wire that in, interior lights in, wipers in. Those are the 4 things. I think that's 4 things I have to wire in, but none of those are non-essential to driving the car. So I gotta get a bar so I can, let's see if this is long enough for my brake lights. I'm excited. I want to drive it. I think I gotta bleed the brakes again. They feel a little soft. So what I'll do is I'll bring it to work and put it up on the lift and do it manually with one of my guys. See if my brake lights are on. Yay! Brake lights do work. Alright, so I got brake lights, I got blinkers, I got running lights, I got headlights. No reverse lights. One of these days when I'm not lazy and tired, I'll wire in the gear selector switch on the tranny to an output to my reverse lights. It's all done. I just literally got to wire it into the Dominator. But I also have to rewire my drive shaft speed. I have to rewire shock sensors. And I could care less about doing any of that. You know what I'm saying? So, oh, I heard the Remy girl. Ah, and the Lincoln boy.
Yeah, I got my shoes on.
You got your shoes on?
Yeah, I bet you want to swing on the swing.
You want to swing on the swing?
Yeah.
All right, give me a minute, all right?
Okay, I want to swing me for like 100 minutes.
100 minutes.
Yeah, like.
Come say hi to everybody on the camera. Come here.
Hi, everybody!
All right, it's not gonna be 100 minutes. We'll swing for like 10.
Oh, but that we need more than 10 anyways.
Well, Daddy's super exhausted and his eyes still hurt.
Oh, right.
All right. So I'll be out there in a minute. All right. Daddy duty calls. Because I'll have way more fun doing that with him than I will working on this hunk of junk. All right. I think we're doing test drives this week. Yep. Mid-July. I wanted this car out by April to May, May to June, June, July. 3 months later than I expected, but that's how it goes. So I think I'll wrap this video up, and we'll call it even Steven, and we'll start the next one with test drives, get it down. I know it's gonna have to be aligned because god dang it, I forgot the freaking heim joints were loose on the front control arms. Good thing I remember that. Put it on my list. Well, do those couple of things. We're going for test drives this week. Get in your garage, grab a cold drink, get to work on your hot rod. Have a good night, guys.